Good afternoon, good evening, good night. It depends on your location. Today's discussion is on the method of research in education. As you can see on these slides, we have three different methods. We have quantitative method, we have qualitative method, we have mixed method. So based on this, we are going to take the first one, and the first one is quantitative method of research. Based on what the researchers have reported or are claiming or saying, they say quantitative method of research is a systematic numerical approach to understanding social phenomena, testing hypotheses, and predicting outcomes. So as a researcher, you are going to use numbers, you are going to use hypotheses, you have to hypothesize, you have to make a tentative guess by using a scientific tentative guess, that is the hypothesis. In the course of doing that, you are going to determine the relationship between two different phenomena, and not only this, you can even correlate and see what is the relationship between A and B. There is an experiment cause-effect relationship. You can look at this and see what is really happening, and you can also check the patterns and trends of happenings or events that are happening. So quantitative research method deals with this. It has the following characteristics. Number one, it's objectives, it's objectivity, it calls for objectivity. Number two, it calls for numerical distinct data. You have to put numbers, you have to explain this 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 and get the answer. And not only this, you have to get a structured design. After the structured design, it has to go with a large sample size of a participant. You have to use statistical analysis in getting the numbers, and not only this, there is generalizability. You have to generalize and tell us that yes, it uses this, it uses that. Number two, we are going to look at qualitative method of research. Qualitative method of research. Based on what the researchers are also saying, they said qualitative research is an exploratory, non-numerical approach to understanding social phenomena, and not only this, the experiences and meanings. So it talks about non-numerical approaches. It talks about exploring information, exploring data. It's not talking about number here. The previous one, quantitative research method, it talks about numbers. Well, qualitative is not talking about numbers, but it has the following characteristics. You can use qualitative research to determine people's attitude, people's belief, people's opinion, and not only this, you can use it to know the social interaction of people, behavior of people, contextual factors influencing phenomena. You can use qualitative research to determine this, and not only this, you can use qualitative research to determine an in-depth understanding of complex issues. So as a researcher, you have to take your time to understand this. And not only this, we have mixed method where you can match the two, qualitative and quantitative, to give you one future that you can get your work done. We are going to take the first one, that is quantitative methods. By mere looking at these, we have 8 different distinct designs under quantitative method. We have experimental research design, we have longitudinal studies, we have cross-sectional studies, we have correlational study, we have causal comparative research, we have meta-analysis, we have quasi-experimental research design, and we have surveys and questionnaires. A researcher is expected to understand, a researcher is expected to understand that under this quantitative method of research, if you take a look at the experiments, this is a design that seeks to understand the cause-effect relationship between 3 different and other variables like this. You can assign your participant randomly. You don't need to use non-randomization. Here you're expected to use randomization, and it has a peculiarity. A researcher is expected to conduct a true experiment in the laboratory where things are there without any changes, without any problem. So there is a difference between quasi-experimental research design and true experiment. So researchers should understand. Conducting true experiments in our classes is very difficult, but we can conduct our true experiment in our laboratories. Number two, we are going to look at longitudinal studies, where you can take a longer period of time to study your child, to study a phenomenon in the university, in the college, in the town, wherever. So it's not a research that will just give you 6 months, 1 year. No. This is a kind of research that takes a longer period of time, and a researcher is expected to take his time counting, writing, observing, collating, collecting, analyzing data day in, day out, up to 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years before he makes conclusion. Number three is correlational cross-sectional studies, where medical doctors mostly use this one for their convenience and in order to get information that is suitable for their work and what have you. The next variable is correlational research, where two factors are brought together so that the relationship between them can be determined. So if you want to get the relationship between class attendance and academic performance, the best method that you're expected to use is correlational research design. And not only this, any topic that talks about two things, you want to get the relationship between A and B, you have to use correlational research design. The next thing is causal comparative research. It's just like an ex post factor research design, where an event has taken place in an institution or somewhere. It has taken place already, it has been documented. You are going there to get the information and also to analyze it based on your own approaches also. The next thing is meta-analysis. Meta-analysis, mostly online, we use articles where different articles have been studied. How many articles are published in this month on attitude or on artificial intelligence or on human growth and development, on COVID-19, anything that has to do with that. So meta-analysis gives you a research that has been conducted, published, and documented, either offline or online. If you lay your hand on it, you want to get how many articles talks about a particular issue. Assuming in the hospital, you want to determine how many articles in Nigeria talks about COVID-19 in October or in September. So the best method that is expected to use is meta-analysis. The next thing is quasi-experimental design. This one is not like the other one that we have mentioned. Is not the true experiment. Here you don't have any control, and you are not expected to assign your participant randomly. Here you are expected to assign your participant non-randomly, meaning you have to allocate your participant in non-randomized way of doing things. And you know there are external factors that may likely jeopardize your quasi-experiment, so take your time to understand this. And not only this, we have surveys and questionnaire. This survey describes a large environment or area. It describes a situation. It reports back a situation using questionnaire in order to get information from a participant also. So I believe by mere looking at this is quantitative research method. Let us briefly look at qualitative research method. We have case study, we have ethnography, we have action research, we have phenomenology, we have historical research, we have theoretical research, we have observational research, we have content analysis, we have grounded theory. These are all under qualitative method. Mark you, we mentioned that under qualitative method, you don't need to use numbers. You don't need to quote your items in order to get numbers. You are expected to use non-numerical approach. You are expected to explore so that you can get information based on your objectives, based on your research question. And not only this, we still have mixed method. Under mixed method, we have we have the following. There are up to 6 different methods under 8 different designs. We have sequential explanatory design, we have sequential exploratory design, we have sequential transformative design, we have concurrent triangulation design, we have concurrent embedded design, we have concurrent transformative design also. So we have, if you take a look at